Hi, my name is Sarah.
And my name is Alexis.
And we're interns at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science studying collections management.
And today we're going to be talking about our newest federal holiday, Juneteenth. So it's celebrated on June 19th every year, and it's because in 1865, Union troops went into Galveston Bay, Texas, to let the enslaved black people there know that they were free, even though the Emancipation Proclamation was effective in 1863.
So to commemorate this, we are going to talk about some Texas fossils. But before we begin, we wanted to make a land acknowledgement that the lands that we are discussing today are the ancestral and native homelands of the Comanche and Kiowa nations. We recognize these indigenous peoples as the original stewards of this land and all their relatives within it.
And today we actually have two localities from Texas.
Yes, the first of these localities is from Duck Creek in Grayson County, Texas. And this is Cretaceous age, about 100 million years old. And these were donated by J. Stewart Hollingsworth, which is the collection that you're working on, Alexis.
That's right.
The second locality that we're going to be talking about today is from the Hemphillian, which is approximately 9 million years old. This is Miocene. And this was named after Hempville County in northern Texas.
And that's actually where we're going to start today. So I have the lower jaw of a mastodon, Ambelodon, here. And this is actually a tooth from an upper jaw, so it would have been upside down like this. And mastodons had tusks in their lower jaw. And we actually also have the tusks of a juvenile proboscidea here. And they're quite similar in shape. Mastodons were related to elephants, but also to mammoths, which actually also connects to Juneteenth as well, because in 1725, African slaves who were most likely from the Congo or Angola dug up a mammoth tooth, and they immediately recognized it as looking like an elephant tooth. The plantation owners, however, thought that it came from a giant who died during Noah's flood, which wasn't uncommon to think at the time. However, a British scientist later came and agreed with the Africans that it was probably from something like an elephant, because he had seen an elephant tooth in a London museum before.
That's awesome. We actually have mastodon and mammoth here at the Denver Museum. One of our most famous sites is from Snowmass, which was just south of Aspen, Colorado. And they found mastodon, mammoth, and even some giant sloths there. So that site is really cool.
We also have some fossils that are related to modern day African animals as well.
Exactly. So this guy, this is Aphalops. He is a hornless rhino from the Miocene. And if you look at his teeth right here, his teeth are very similar to modern day rhinos, but his incisors here, these are his tusks. They are not very similar to modern day rhinos. These were actually used for pulling vegetation. And if you were to look at his femur here, you can see that this guy was really big. You would not want to get in his way. And this, my second guy, this is from Megalotylopus. This is his metacarpal. So if you were to hold up your hand right now and flex your hand like this, the bones that allow you to flex your hand right here, those are your metacarpals. So this is one big metacarpal from Megalotylopus. My last little guy here, this is a tortoise from the Miocene, and he is very similar to tortoises that we have in Texas today.
And older than all of those things, but still from Texas, we have these ammonites here. And the ammonites have some interesting features, one of which are the suture lines here, and another are actually the ribs, these ridges. Sometimes because of weathering or preservation of the specimen itself, those ridges will be smooth and look more like this large ammonite here. One of the modern day relatives of ammonites are nautiloids, and we also have an example of one of those shells too, and it has this amazing pattern.
That's awesome, Alexis. Where could you go to learn more about that pattern?
Right here at the museum. We just opened a new temporary exhibit called Numbers in Nature, a mirror maze, and it's running through September, and it's all about numbers and patterns in nature.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's how Juneteenths, mammoths, mastodons, Colorado, and the new temporary exhibit all connect. So with that, we hope you look forward to celebrating Juneteenth.